Hello, very nice to meet you. I'd like to know about sex change operation.
I see. Man to woman, a woman to man.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina. Is it for you?
I'm not singing anymore. I can't.
For me? No. What would you like to know about it, madam? The beat drop's kind of great. I've grown to like it, I won't lie.
Yeah. It's
And the way
it's horrible. No worse.
the way it like really just goes into it as well. Like there's the clip that everyone's seen online, but then it carries on and it just goes and goes and goes.
I quite like the music in the background where it's like don't. Like it's got a bit of bass to
Bit
it.
funky. Someone's slapping that bass, yeah.
Slapping the bass.
Conlogoroplasty. What is that? Adam's apple reduction. Yes.
I need that. got a big old apple in my throat. Hello and welcome back to Moving Up Podcast, episode 53, with your hosts, me, Adam Barlow.
I was going to say, me, Jules Holland.
Me, Jules Holland. Let's go 10 to midnight.
Boogie piano. And me, your other host, Alfie Walker. We're in a good mood today, you can tell.
We are in a good mood, and I'm not even drinking Black Cherry VK this time. Mate, we've got a bumper episode this week. We've got 4 reviews in total, 3 of which are for Best Picture nominees, Oscar Best Picture nominees, I should say. So it's an important one. So if you've never listened to Move Up Podcast before, thank you for tuning into this one. And if you've been here for a while, then hello again. And I hope that we don't let you down on this one, because it's nice to open up a discussion, especially during the award season. It's always an exciting time. I love this time of year. It's kind of the one thing that I look forward to between summer and Christmas. It's the one kind of bridging gap of intrigue and suspense and fun. So yeah, I love it. Can't wait to get into these reviews. But we're going to be reviewing A Complete Unknown, Saturday Night, The Brutalist, and Nickel Boys.
No, not The Brutalist, mate. You haven't seen that yet.
Sorry, not The Brutalist. Yeah, sorry. I erased Emilia Pérez from my mind. I don't mean The Brutalist at all. I'm booked in to see The Brutalist, but we're not reviewing that yet. That's the next episode. Sorry.
That's next week, guys.
Do you know why that happened? Because I got cocky and I actually started thinking 2 thoughts in my head at once. One was me saying stuff, and then the second was like, hang on a minute, Adam. You're biting off more than you can chew here. Just let Alfie take up some. And I was like, no, I know the 4 films I've watched. No, I don't, apparently. I don't.
No, you actually don't, apparently. The one good thing about this time of year, I find, like you said, is that it's the one time where it's appropriate to be very vocal about film, because I think often you annoy people around you when you talk about film so much. But
this is the first I've heard
February,
of it.
March. Really?
Take a hint, mate.
What about your mum on that walk the other day?
Yeah, true.
This is the one time of year where you can talk about film non-stop with people, and even people who don't really watch films are at least a little bit interested in what the Oscar winner is going to be. So we're going to talk about film non-stop. I mean, Adam is, because Adam's watched 3 of these films. I've only watched 1, so...
Yeah, and of all the films you could have seen out of the 4 we're reviewing, you've picked the worst one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
the one that's probably going to win Best Picture.
Yeah. Let's just get right into it, because otherwise we're going to be here for days, and by the time we finish, it will be Saturday night. But let's start with Saturday night, shall we? Have you ever watched Saturday Night Live?
I've watched modern Saturday Night Live through clips and TikToks. So the Timothée Chalamet being I'm Troye Sivan, or the Paul Mescal Gladiator musical, that kind of thing. I've also seen clips of old Saturday Night Live where you've got Bill Murray or Dan Aykroyd or sort of retro 80s comedians. I've seen clips like that. I've never really sat down and watched a full episode, so I'm not particularly versed on... I know it's hugely successful in America and it's sort of part of their culture over there. But you are a big Saturday Night Live fan, right?
Yeah, again, sort of similar to you, I've mostly watched the modern stuff, or really for the last sort of 10, 15 years, whenever it's up on my YouTube page, homepage, I always give it a watch, especially when they've got a good actor on. Like Adam Driver always commits to it. Sabrina Carpenter does funny stuff. Obviously, if you don't know, the general sort of setup for Saturday Night Live is it's a chaotic sketch show. They get a celebrity in to basically plug a new album or a new film. They do a couple of monologues, and then they have to really commit and go in for these sketches. And a lot of the time they break character and they just start laughing, and that's also funny. Some of them are just complete drivel and they're not funny at all, but that in itself is kind of funny. And then some of them are brilliant and can really launch some memes and trending sounds on TikTok and other social media. So it really does kind of document pop culture throughout the year, I find, and that's why I really enjoy it. And you get a lot of memes out of it, as I say, which is what I most enjoy about it. So Saturday Night is a film by Jason Reitman, who you'll recognise for being the son of Ivan Reitman, who brought the Ghostbusters film to life. And Jason Reitman, I think he didn't direct the second Ghostbusters legacy sequel, Frozen Empire, but he did do Afterlife. So he's got some sort of recency in our minds, at least. And I think he's a good director. I think he clearly has his interests, and obviously his dad being so involved with the guys from Saturday Night, obviously Dan Aykroyd being one of the writers and producers and stuff of Ghostbusters. It's lovely to see Jason Reitman just kind of doing these projects that pay homage in a way to his dad and in a way to people he must have been surrounded by growing up.
Yeah.
And you can tell...
Definitely like family friends and stuff. Like 100% Dan Aykroyd's going to have been at like his wedding or something. Like they seem like they're just family friends through the years kind of thing.
Absolutely. And you can tell how much he loves this film. It feels like a love letter to American comedy as a whole, but also to Saturday Night, of course. So the film is an hour and 49 minutes, very nice length, flies by. And what's interesting about it is it's told in quote-unquote real time. So it's the 90 minutes before the first airing of Saturday Night. You've got Gabriel LaBelle, who plays Lorne Michaels, the creator of Saturday Night. And Gabriel LaBelle, I keep saying it wrong, one of the two, he starred in The Fabelmans as basically Steven Spielberg's sort of younger self, right? In everything bar name. So he's a great actor. This is only the second thing I've seen him in, but I think he's once again so charismatic, and he's basically in every scene, and he really brings it to life. I think it could have fallen apart without him, which is ironic because that's also the role he plays in the film. But I do think he's brilliantly cast. You've got other actors in there who you might recognise, like Rachel Sennett, Corey Michael Smith, Lamorne Morris, let me find who else. Willem Dafoe, of course, in there. Finn Wolfhard, J.K. Simmons, John Batiste, Cooper Hoffman, Matthew Rhys. Andrew Barth Feldman as well. Only a small role, but he was in that film called, what was it? Hard Feelings, or No Hard Feelings. That was it.
Oh yeah, okay.
He played the young boy in that. He's great in this. Really, really great comedic chops. And he's got a scene where he takes drugs, and clearly for the first time, like he's this little Mormon boy, and he just has a panic attack. And the way they play the rest of that scene out is so funny. I was in stitches. That's the best part of the film. But yeah, it moves at 100 miles an hour. It's chaotic. It's not done in one take, but it may as well have been, because most scenes are long, camera panning around, and there's movement, and it's a constant flurry of sounds and errors and things going wrong, and music, lighting issues, money men behind the scenes trying to just play a rerun of something else so they don't even get to air. There's just loads of things going wrong, and it's an absolute joy to watch. There's the energy is infectious, I'll say that. But although you've got a great cast, what makes it even better and more enjoyable for my money is they're all playing young versions of the cast of SNL. So you've got Nicholas Podeny playing Billy Crystal, does a spot on job. Like I was like, that's Mike Wazowski, and he's really funny in it as well. You've got Matt Wood playing a young John Belushi, Dylan O'Brien, probably a standout in here actually, playing a young Dan Aykroyd, absolutely on the money with it. You've got, oh yeah, you'll like this, Nicholas Braun playing Jim Henson. So good.
Sick.
Yeah, he's so funny.
That is so cool.
He's just the most passive man you'll ever meet. He's like, yeah, well, I don't think they agree in making Muppets, for adults or something. And like apparently the SNL cast just kept putting like Big Bird in the closet with like a tie around his neck and stuff, and they put them in like compromising positions behind the scenes. So it's all like these rumors that you can kind of just tell, yeah, that definitely happened, or
yeah, that actually happened. Yeah. I love it, absolutely love it.
It's so grounded. I think for that alone, I think you should see this film, mate. But Corey Michael Smith as well playing Chevy Chase it's like they stuck Chevy Chase in a time machine. It's actually uncanny. I've only seen Chevy Chase really in Community, but I'm well aware of his earlier work with National Lampoon and stuff like that. Yeah, he's another great standout. So cast all excellent, directing brilliant, runtime flies by, as I say. So on paper it all works very well. My one gripe with it, and it is a little bit vital, is while it is funny, I wouldn't say it's hilarious. And I think going in, my expectations were quite high, and I was really ready to laugh, and it didn't. I definitely, there's definitely some funny scenes, and it's really light-hearted, and it's got great pace to it, and the music by John Batiste as well, who is he plays Billy Preston in the film as well. Music's excellent, really, really has that sense of, come on, we need to get going, we need to move. Yeah, it's just always clicking in the back of your head. You're like, right, clock is ticking. And I do think by the end of it, like they kind of recreate parts of the first season of Saturday Night in a dress rehearsal. And it was when I was reminded that, like, oh yeah, it is a scrappy film, and like it's well produced, but it's scrappy, and it's a little bit lame in places. Like it feels underdeveloped in the comedy, but then that is what Saturday Night kind of is. So it's within its character to be like that, but there's also like it's American humor, and it didn't really always hit for me, especially when they recreate scenes from Saturday Night. I actually thought those were the bits that really fell flat in the audience, like the bits where it was chaotic and it was just the cast doing impressions of other people. I'm like, that's brilliant, that's absolute in stitches. And then when it does the Saturday Night stuff that somehow has been going for 50 years now, that's the anniversary they're celebrating this year, you're like, God, how did this get greenlit for a second episode? I don't like it. Yeah, at least for me, that doesn't work for me. But the film in itself is very solid. Don't get me wrong, like it's not going to make you cry, it's not going to make you it's not going to enlighten you in any way, but I think for a nigh on 90-minute film that you can throw on, especially if you're a fan of comedy just in general and a fan of TV history, it's well worth a watch. But I don't think it will blow your mind, but it's, as I say, it's very enjoyable.
Your description of the performances and the way they embody the actors they're meant to be, it's quite a testament to it, and that alone has made me go, I'd quite like to watch it. By the way you describing them playing Billy Crystal and them playing Jim Henson and them playing Dan Aykroyd, that really makes me go, oh, I'd actually quite like to watch it for that alone. And the concept of it being like the 90 minutes before is really interesting as well, and genuinely has gotten me intrigued. Really interesting though that I'm shocked that they tried to recreate the scenes from Saturday Night Live or Saturday Night. There's often that whole thing where it's easier to not replicate it because you can't meet the original kind of thing. So it's interesting that they try and replicate it, and like you said, that fell flat for you. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to watch this. It seems like the perfect sort of film that's going to pop up on Netflix in probably a month's time, so I'll definitely be watching it.
Absolutely. It feels like the kind of film that you might stick on a Saturday evening if you've not gone out. I mean, it'd be perfect with the name. I can really see a lot of families, especially in America, being like, oh, Saturday night, yeah, that's got a good cast. Oh, that'll be fun and a bit of a nostalgic trip.
Yeah.
Put it on and you'll have a good time with it for sure. I think I just went in expecting to absolutely love it, and I just had a good time with it, and it lifted my spirits, but nothing more. You know, I don't know how much I'll think about it. I'll give it a rewatch if I ever get a spare evening. But yeah, I think you'll kind of know if it's going to be your thing or not. If you're a fan of Saturday Night or just a fan of comedy in general, then check it out. And also the amount of behind the scenes drama and detail is quite interesting, because it's 90 minutes of walking around a 70s set, right?
Yeah, that really intrigues me. That's what's making me go, I'd quite like to watch this, because that sounds fascinating.
And it's meticulously recreated, like the cameras and all the terminology and the pop culture references are very much set within the 1975, and that was a real delight to see. So yeah, go and check it out, mate. I think you'll enjoy it. But if you're not a fan of Saturday Night Live, or you don't like it, like straight, up front, like, and you just that's not your thing, then yeah, leave it.
At least you know what you're going in for. Yeah, absolutely. Adam's got another review for us now. Nickel Boys, which has been Oscar nominated, and I've heard a fair bit of praise for, liking it to After Sun as the main thing I've seen from reading reviews. Take it away, Adam. What did you think of Nickel Boys?
Sure. So it's a adaptation of a historical kind of drama novel. I think it was published in 2019. It's based on a real life event. It's not actually called Nickel Academy, but it's about these two guys that meet, become friends at this very strict school. It's inspired by, here we go, just reading the Wikipedia here. The film was inspired by the Dozier School for Boys, a now closed Florida reform school notorious for its abusive treatment of students. So it's basically that, set in the 60s in Florida. These two guys go to school, meet each other, and it kind of goes from there. I think what you say about After Sun is true. It's almost a film that's, well, it's got a plot, and it's kind of, it's got a great elevator pitch. It's like about these two guys that goes to a school that's racist and abusive, and it's implied that they get sexually harassed as well. Just this horrible environment, and it's a covered up thing that happened in American history, in recent history, that is horrible, like completely horrific. So the way it tells the story, and this is the thing that's most interesting about this, I think, is it's shot almost entirely from the first person perspective. So
oh wow,
I've always thought, while watching movies or playing video games especially, like, man, there should be more films that are told in first person perspective, because what better way to immerse yourself, right? It's basically VR or augmented reality, right? How, that must be so immersive, and that must really work. And I don't think off the top of my head I've seen a film shot in first person. I know there are films out there, but it's, very rare occurrence. And I kind of get why, because actually I don't think it worked for me. I found it, if anything, very distracting. I think I spent most of my time thinking, God, how did they shoot that? Because there's moments where they're looking in mirrors and you see a reflection, but I'm like, well, there's no camera there, obviously, so how have they done that? And I think it's because I was thinking quite technically about it. It did throw me off. But that aside, if it's not first person perspective straight up, it switches between people, so it's a bit like The Peep Show, except not funny at all. It's not a comedy, as you can tell by the description of the film, but it does that a few times, and it also shoots some characters just from the back, sort of third person, as though you're playing a video game again, but it's like you can see their shoulders and the back of their head. So you only see their face if they look in a puddle, or if they look in a mirror or in a window, or you see the reflection of them in an iron or something. So in that respect, it is quite creative, because you still get to see what the characters look like. But it's kind of a difficult one to review, because there isn't much plot going on. The main boy in this is called Elwood, and he's clearly very inspired by Martin Luther King. He's got his heart in the right place, very studious at school, and his teacher says, right, you've got a real chance of getting a tuition fee acceleration, a study program at an HBCU. But while he's walking along this road, he gets picked up by this guy who offers him a lift in this very snazzy car, and you can see he's got like rings on his fingers. He's very wealthy. And then very soon into that drive, a police car pulls up behind, and it turns out that this car's been stolen, and the guy that he's been picked up by is a criminal, and he's now mistaken as an accomplice, hence why he gets sent to this reform school. He then gets himself into trouble and like gets himself punished by these teachers who are clearly racist and just xenophobic in every sense, who just beat him up to an absurd degree. And that's where, this is about maybe half an hour in, I thought the way it showed that was very immersive. I think that was really good. I actually I thought it was quite a hard watch. It does a good job of really conveying the distress, and he almost has a bit of a panic attack before he gets taken into this dark room, that he's like, you kind of just hear the sounds of these other students that are getting beaten up in the same sort of session, and then he's the last one, and as it's first person, you're led into this room, and it's slowly revealed to you that it's like a fan whirring so you can't hear the noise. And then it just rather than showing the violence, it cuts to images of these distorted, really pixely zoomed in faces of the kids at the school, and then after that scene plays out, you still hear like the whips and the agonizing cries and stuff. So I thought that was really, really powerful actually, and I understand why it's an Oscar nominated film, because I think it has that sort of experimental filmmaking style that's very based on senses, and the feelings and the memory recall and that kind of thing, in the same way that After Sun is. And it's also got the kind of almost weirdly nonchalant attitude towards it that the Zone of Interest did, and the feeling of guilt and the feeling of
I was
sort of
absolutely
coldness.
going to say that.
Yeah,
from the way you described it, it sounds exactly like the way that the score and the editing and stuff was used in Zone of Interest, to convey horrible stuff. That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, really, interesting. Go on, carry on.
I think I'd say I preferred the Zone of Interest personally, and I preferred After Sun as well, but there's definitely a similar kind of DNA in this, which is good. And there's a bit of a twist at the end that actually I didn't catch until I read some other reviews and read a Wikipedia page about it. So that in a way did hinder my enjoyment of it, because I just didn't. I thought it was confusing at the end, because it then montages, and it's also like I was trying to work out, is this a real story or is it based on something? And I didn't really do my homework on it before going in, which you shouldn't need to for a film, really.
No, you shouldn't.
But I don't know, it just didn't quite click with me. I think it, as I say, it definitely has those moments, but that was half an hour in, and it goes on for maybe like 10-15 minutes. There's a lovely sequence after that as well, actually, with Elwood's grandmother, who tries to go and visit him to, check if he's all right, because there's no contact allowed, and then she's just told he can't see her at all, or she can't see him, vice versa. And that's a really heartwarming scene as well, because she then runs into his friend unbeknownst to her, who then can pass on the letters from her to him, which is nice. But yeah, I won't spoil anything else, but it's an interesting watch. I think the plot is interesting, and it does a good job, as I say, of conveying claustrophobia and the fear and the sense of doom that these poor young children must have had, because they're only like high school age, like 15, 16. So it's cool, it's experimental, but if I'm honest, it just didn't really work for me, which is a shame, because After Sun and the Zone of Interest did. So I'm not sure what this does differently that didn't quite work as well. I think maybe it is the first person thing. I should also mention, it's 2 hours 20 minutes long, which for me
that's a long time.
is too long. I think if this was 90 minutes, it really would have worked for me. But I think to stick with this when there isn't much of a plot, it's very sort of it kind of sets this dark tone, and it sort of hums at that level for 2 hours, and you're like, oh man, like it has an uplifting ending of sorts, but it's also like, well, man, like what a horrible environment to be in,
still a lot,
and because you're placed in it, it's a lot to take on. So yeah, couple that with the fact also it was an evening screening, so there's a lot of factors going in. So I'm not saying I won't advise it, but of the Best Picture nominees this year, it's not my favourite.
There's really interesting that you say about if it was 90 minutes, it would work better. Because I can imagine that, because I feel like as a fairly experimental film in the way that it's shot and stuff, it would fit being shorter. Because you'd be able to hold people's attention for longer, being in it's not a standard film. So yeah, really interesting that they chose to go for a 2 hours 20, which is, I mean, that is kind of, most films now are about 2:10, 2:15, aren't they? Almost every film you go see is that now. But yeah, clocking over into 2:20 is, you think, and you add your trailers on, that's 2 hour 40 minute. That's nearly 3 hours, isn't it, for a film, which is a hell of a lot of time. I'll have to check it out because it's one of the nominees. But the concept of switching between first person and between character as well, right? Yeah, that does put me off, because it just sounds too much like a video game. And then also going into like the third person perspective that you do on a on a survival horror video game is really weird. Like, it just seems like such an odd choice to flick between so many modes of filming. But I guess, yeah, I'm all for it, and I'll judge it once I've finally seen it. But yeah, like, because I remember personally After Sun, I didn't click with in the cinema that much. I do think that's maybe because our seats were shit. We were in the front row in the biggest Odeon screening room, as far to the right as you can go.
Yeah.
So our necks were like crooked by the end of that showing, and it didn't hit me like I thought it would. On rewatches, After Sun is great, and I really appreciate it, and I've bought posters and sort of film art and stuff like that. I really like it, but yeah, I think it's interesting that you say you just didn't click with this one. But I'm looking forward to watching it. It's on the Best Picture nominees, like you said, so I've got to watch it, and then I'll give a bit of feedback.
Of the Best Picture nominees, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the one that we potentially disagree on. I think it's the most Marmite film probably in the list off the top of my head. Yeah, because I should say it's been almost universally loved. Like I know a handful of people that I've seen on Letterboxd or that I follow on Instagram. It didn't work for them, but some people have given it 5 stars and have just gushed about it. They said it just broke them, and I didn't even get like the sort of like choked up feeling. I just kind of watched it. I was like, I felt it was a real struggle to get through, which is a real shame.
Yeah,
because I went in, I was like, this will be good. This will likely be an Oscar nom, and today we found out it is. And yeah, unfortunately, it just didn't quite get me.
That's my Bob Dylan impression. If you listen to any of his songs, they all sound like that. Are you a big fan of Bob Dylan's music after this film, Adam? I must know. Have you listened to much of his work?
You know what, man? I have, but with the caveat that I've listened to the soundtrack more than his work, because I've listened to some of the songs that I enjoyed in the soundtrack here. And I know
they're not as good.
I know it's sacrilege to say, but I think Timothée Chalamet sings some of them better. But
I wouldn't. I mean, people love Bob Dylan. He's got a Nobel Peace Prize for like pop songwriting or whatever the hell. Like, since when did you get that?
He didn't attend the event either, apparently, to collect it. Because they put it in the epilogue, when biopics end with a bit of written script. Yeah.
So he didn't show up to get that. I'm not a big Bob Dylan fan. People love him though. He's huge. I think the only stuff of Bob Dylan's that I like is when He was in the super band, the Traveling Wilburys, which
Yeah.
was basically like George Harrison, Jeff Lynne, Roy Orbison, like loads of superstars. And he's in that, and their 2 albums are really good. So he's there. I've listened to him on that, but his music alone, I'm not really a fan of, and that's why I haven't been to see this yet. I've also just been busy. But Adam did get to go see it, and tell me, Adam, what did you think? How was Timmy?
You know, I think this film has really properly made me a Timothée Chalamet fan, because I tried to resist his charms. I tried to say, no, I don't get it. I don't get it. I think he's not that hot. But no, I've been in denial for years, and actually, since Wonka, actually, I thought he was something special. And well, no, since June in 2021. Let's not beat around the bush. But I think I was a bit late to the Chalamet train. You know, there's some of his early stuff that he did with like A Beautiful Boy.
Call Me by Your Name.
Yeah. That kind of era. I wasn't there with it, right? / I haven't seen them. So maybe that's it. But
that's why you weren't there.
yeah, exactly. Because I wasn't even in the building. But I really think that this showcases his range to an incredible degree, and I actually would be more than happy, and I'd campaign for him to win best actor this year, because I think his charm and his ability to channel, admittedly a singer I don't know a lot about, but from everyone that I've heard review it since has said that it's absolutely, you know, like Elvis and Austin Butler, right? So I think the way that he can channel this mysterious kind of pop, you know, folk
weirdo,
just complete hermit of a man, basically, that's got some edge to him, but also some heart, but he's also a bit of a dick. Like, it's really layered, and the accent as well. He's obviously got to do that, like the Minnesotan accent for 2 hours 20, and yeah, it's worth saying. Sorry, just as I mentioned the runtime quite heavily in the last review. 2 hours 20, the same length as Nickel Boys. This feels half the length, so the way it's paced is far more effective for me anyway. But yeah, Timothée Chalamet, great, absolutely leads it with such gravitas and such control and real attention to detail that I thought was just brilliant. And I'm looking at the nominees for the best actors across, you know, the BAFTAs and the Oscars, and like Adrian Brody, sure, he's got an Oscar already. Coleman Domingo, I think he should be. He also deserves it. I'll say that. And then you've got Ralph Fiennes, sure, I guess. I don't think it's an incredible role. He's just, as I said, it's just very breathy. Sebastian Stan, very
He's
strong.
got time to get another one.
Yeah. But I mean, well, as is Timothée Chalamet. But you know, what a story it'd be if this young man who's just really, he's a superstar, right? As you said when we discussed him,
29, 30.
He's got to be. Let me see how old he is, because he's gonna make us feel like 29. How old are you, Alf? 25?
26 next month, mate.
Oh
yeah.
God. Well, when are you gonna? Come on, mate. You should be starring in June Part 1 around now. So
Yeah, literally.
pull your finger
mental. Fucking mental.
But I mean, yeah, he's so suave. He's funny and he's energetic, and he's great. He's absolutely brilliant, and he does deserve an Oscar. I'd give him one. He can have a Moving Up award. In fact, he did have a Moving Up award. A Moving Up
Yeah,
award.
he did get the Moving Up, didn't he?
Sorry, Moving Up, yes. But yeah, he obviously, as Bob Dylan, is great, and his singing is superb. It almost made me jealous of him, because I don't know if he played the guitar. I presume he did, because it would be weird if they CGI'd that in somehow.
He definitely knows the guitar.
But god damn it, man, he plays it so well. And like, I went through a phase of trying to learn the guitar for like one summer, and I got this cheap 20 quid guitar from my grandparents. So he didn't tell me it was that much, but when I found out it was 20 quid, I was looking at it like, oh, how do I get the right strap for this type of guitar? And I looked it up, like just the exact make and what it said on it, and it's basically from the middle eye of Lidl, and I was offended. So I was like, right, fuck this musical.
Calling out Nan and Grandad right now.
Yeah. They better get me something better than that will, I'll say that. But But yeah, Timothée Chalamet, just leave some talent for the rest of us, because my God, it's actually unfair. Also in the cast, you've got Monica Barbero playing Joan B.
Joan, that'll do.
Yep, something like that. Another famous folk singer. Edward Norton playing Pete Seeger, who is just the most charismatic, kindest old soul, I guess, that you'll ever meet, apparently. Yeah.
And Bob Dylan's a bit of a dick to him, isn't he?
Yeah. And you've also got Elle Fanning in there. You've got Boyd Holbrook playing Johnny Cash.
Yes, tell me about this. I've heard that the appearance of Johnny Cash is like an MCU cameo in this film.
It kind of is. He's in it a fair amount, I would say. He's in maybe 4 or 5 scenes, and he's very good. You've got
Boyd Holbrook is underrated. He is an excellent actor, whatever he's in.
I don't know what else he's in.
You'll recognise his face, mate, as soon as you realise who that is. He is transformative in every role. It's insane.
Oh, he's in The Bike Riders, but I don't remember where. Indiana Jones.
He played the bodyguard Nazi in Dial of Destiny.
Oh, did he? Oh, wow. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's done a fair amount. Gone Girl.
Every role, he's like a different person. It's crazy. Definitely go away and watch some of his films. It's kind of mad. Seeing the clips of him as Johnny Cash in this, I've been like, how is that him? It's crazy.
He's very good in this. I liked his character. You've got Dan Fogler in there from the Fantastic Beasts trilogy. He plays Albert Grossman, basically the kind of money man that's pulling the strings and telling Bob Dylan what to do, like a little devil sat on his shoulder. The cast goes on, but I think they all do a brilliant job. It's very well produced. I think script, great. As I said, paced very well. Music really works. I think the musical sequences, it lets the songs breathe. It's not shoehorned in at all. And a lot of the performances in here, I was really like, I was just smiling, and I felt real warmth from this film. Again, we had Better Man just the other week, but the amount of musical biopics, and just as an extension, biopics that we get on the whole, is sort of ridiculous. It's like, you've got MCU films, you've got superhero films, or you've got biopics.
And then you've got biopic in the universe, 100%.
And it's almost a bit
We've
much.
got 4 Beatles ones coming, like, next year.
Oh my goodness, you're right. Gosh.
4? Like, insane.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it? But I don't know, man. I'm a bigger Robbie Williams fan, because I didn't really know much about Bob Dylan at all. I just know he's George Ezra's favourite singer, and that's what encouraged me to go see it, and also fan of Timothée Chalamet. So I went in a bit apprehensive, knew that it was a BAFTA nominee as well, so I was like, this must be decent in some way. And I wasn't blown away by it, so I'm sort of still questioning, like, is this the best of last year? Like, what? There's nothing better. It's not that this is bad by any stretch. This is very, very, it's very solid, very, very good, perfectly watchable. And as I say, I think that's
Put that on a poster.
Yeah, right. It's
perfectly watchable.
I can't say it's great, because I'm not beaming about it, but I'm not a Bob Dylan fan. And it's also like, I saw Better Man, and I think I did have a better time with that. But then I know Robbie Williams, and I think that has more fun with it. That's more playful. Whereas this is a very
absolutely,
very by the numbers biopic. There's sort of one trope that it almost leans into a bit, and then kind of holds back. You're like, oh, thank goodness you didn't do that. And I mean that in the way that Pete Seeger is looking after and bringing up Bob Dylan, and you're kind of like, right, it's at this point where he'd turn on him and be like, right, you've got to do this, like Colonel,
like Tom Hanks did in Elvis.
Yeah, totally. Literally. You're expecting his mentor to all of a sudden snap and be like, no, you're doing it wrong or something, and that never happens, which is quite nice. So it feels like a film that's brimming with optimism, and also historical importance. I'd say the last musical sequence in it is quite fun. because it's when Bob Dylan is basically about to go into his sort of rock and roll era, I suppose. And that's exciting to see, because given my limited knowledge, I at least was like, oh, okay, I recognise where this is heading and the sort of cultural importance of Bob Dylan and also this moment. So that was nice. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, and I think the production design, costumes, all great. You know, everyone's just drinking black coffee, smoking cigars, wearing leather, and you're like, man, I want to take a trip to the 70s, minus all the political outrage. You know, it's a really nice film to sort of dip your toe into and be like, man, the 70s. I wonder what they were like to live
what
through.
a cool musical era. Yeah, absolutely.
And like every now and then, like you hear people talking about, like someone references Elvis, someone references Beatles. It's like, God, all these people alive on the planet in their prime at once.
Yeah,
crazy.
How long of a time period does it cover? Sorry, does it do 10 years? Does it get into the like traveling Wilbury stuff, or is it quite a sort of short little sweet period? What's the?
It's quite focused. It's only from 1961, where he arrives in New York, to 1965, I think.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it's very focused. Sorry, did I say 1960? I don't know why I said the 70s. It's the 60s, isn't it? Right? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good film. It's a very solid biopic. Again, I'm kind of struggling for things to say, because it's very.
It's just by the numbers. Isn't it? It's just his life, right? Yeah.
That's kind of it. Like, I think if, you know, Timothée Chalamet doing great work. Everyone's doing great work. It's directed, I should have said, by James Mangold, who did Dial of Destiny, among other things. And yeah, it's fine, you know. But again, I can't help but be like, best of the year. But
yeah, this is front runner, isn't it? In the Oscars, this is a front runner.
Yeah.
It's Brutalist, this, Emilia Pérez, Sigh. This is a front runner. So yeah, it's like we said, if you look in the previous little bonus episode, if you look at last year's front runners, it was Oppenheimer, Killer of the Flower Moon. What was the French Court one?
Yeah, Anatomy of a Fool.
Yeah, Anatomy of a Fool. Like, and they were like hard hitters. They were like, yeah. And then you look at the front runners this year and you go, just not doing the same sort of legwork. But yeah.
And that, it's hard to separate that from my review of this, really. But if you're a fan of music, you're a fan of Bob Dylan especially, you will love it. I think I'm just a bit, I don't want to say biopicked out, because this is good, but again, it's like I can only like this to an extent, and I almost feel a bit numb to it. Timothée Chalamet's side, he does break through that. He's excellent in this, but I don't know if that's enough for it to, you know, to really have any sort of cultural hit. And especially
it's not sort of,
especially in the UK, I don't know if people have spoken to you about it. No one really seems that fussed about it. But then that's across the board for this year, right? I don't think there's any of the best pictures that I think, apart from June Part 2, but that was a year ago, you know. There's no hype around it for the common people, you know.
I mean, we said it, didn't we, about this time last year we were doing our Converged news 4 weeks in Bournemouth Uni, but we're get assessed on, and every day me and Adam would be waiting for new film news to drop, new exciting sort of nominations or awards nods or just anything like that. And you said yourself, because you're obviously now working there helping out, that they haven't got the same energy, which may just be because they're not particularly filmy, but you think it would at least sort of weave its way into the annals of standard life, and it clearly hasn't this year. It's not making a huge impact.
It's really interesting, and I wonder, maybe it'll pick up before we get to March, but I don't see that happening.
We're still quite a way off. Yeah, we're still quite a way off, that's true.
Yeah, it's interesting. But
with Jonathan Wass hosting the Oscars, I'll be sure to tune in.
Yeah. I will say, I thought, again, the music is great, and Timothée Chalamet does breathe some great energy into it. I mean, particularly "Girl from the North Country." That's an excellent song, I think, and that's the one I'd be listening to on repeat. And also the one called "Song for." The film opens with him going to visit one of his musical idols, Woody Guthrie, I think. Yeah, and that song actually.
Made up name.
Made up, yeah. Yeah, but Woody Guthrie's in hospital. He's got some sort of undisclosed serious illness that's going to just sort of make him deteriorate over time, and he can't quite talk. But he's there, sat in the hospital in 1961 in New York with Pete Seeger, and then a young Bob Dylan comes in. Timothée Chalamet, charismatic as anything, just sits down. He's shy, but he plays this beautiful song, and it's really slow and intimate. And this is only like in the first sort of 5-10 minutes, and that's where I was like, you know what, I'm here for this, and it put my worries at ease. I was like, right, I like this film. It's just now, how much do I like it? And I think that's a wonderful scene, and I can understand why it's nominated. But I'm like, in a regular year, in a year like last year, which I think we were spoilt with, but even the year before, like Everything Everywhere All at Once blew my mind. I don't think anything yet has blown my mind. Like, nothing's been like, God, this is incredible. Like, I think Challenges blew my mind, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking too fondly about it. I don't know. I need a rewatch, but it just feels very safe. And I think I can say the same thing about Conclave. I can say the same thing about a lot of the other stuff. I think like Sing Sing should have a nomination for the Best Picture. Surely, like Sing Sing definitely deserves one, and that in a way is a little bit Oscar baity, a bit like Conclave, a bit like this. But I think Sing Sing is more impactful and more emotionally resonant than these other two. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's get on to our last review.
So this one is going to be less of a review, I think, and more of a what the fuck rant. Because, my God, what a film, eh? Let's talk about Emilia Pérez, Adam. Let's finally talk about it.
Yeah. Do you want to start because you saw it before I did?
Yeah, I started watching it. I heard that it was bad, but I'd also heard that it's being nominated for awards. So I chucked it on, and I got to, where did I get to? Just after the dinner scene in London. So not even that far in. Maybe 45 minutes in, I think.
Yeah.
Because it is, once again, I think it's about 2:20, 2:25. I turned it off because I just thought it was dog shit, mate. It's rubbish. Official movie reviewing term there. This film's dog shit. And then I finished it. And what about you? When did you catch it? You catched it the other day, right?
I think it might have been Saturday night when I saw it.
That kind of makes it funnier, mate. I won't lie.
It really was a Saturday night at home alone. Yeah. God. We should say today Oscar noms came out, if you haven't already gathered, and it got 13 nominations, so it's leading the pack of all the films this year. Okay, so in theory, by the numbers, it's the best film of the year.
Yeah.
Like regardless of what it wins.
It's one nomination away from being the most nominated film ever, I believe. I think surely Oppenheimer got 17, didn't it? Or about that number. I could be wrong. Really? Am I lying? Yeah, where did I see that?
I think it's the best.
On
the headline I saw, I think it's got the most amount of nominations for a film not in the English language.
Right, okay, that's why. I saw a tweet earlier that said, what did Luca Guadagnino do? Did he kill someone? Which is such an apt response for his 0 nominations.
Yeah.
This film got 13. I don't know where to start with this film, mate. I think it's so difficult to review because it's such a car crash.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, right? Spoiler!
Yeah, man. Oh, my God. let me preface by saying that Zoe Saldana is innocent. She's good in this. I also think, in a weird way, by you and other people on the internet saying how much it's awful, I went in feeling prepared for it, and in a way, I didn't outright hate it as much as I thought I was going to. But I still didn't like it at all.
Yeah. I'd really like to preface this review with saying we're not ones, I think, to jump on bandwagons. And I think Joker Folie à Deux is a perfect example of that. Every single person was saying how bad Joker was, and we gave it benefit of the doubt and actually quite enjoyed it. Adam significantly, so me to a very high extent. I liked that film, and we praised it on here. And Adam has been one, probably more so than me, to say when he doesn't like a film. Saltburn, Mario movie, a couple of those sort of ones. I'd say we don't tend to jump on the bandwagon. But this film is fully deserving of it, in my opinion. Like you've just said, though, you didn't hate it outright. I think it's just really boring, mate. I think it is really boring. It's cohesively a mess. The plot is both super meandering, but also really sporadic. And it just goes from one extreme to the other in the point of seconds. I think like the tonal shift as well from the beginning of the film, and she's just been kidnapped and being spoke to by a cartel boss.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is the Vaginoplasty song.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a satire, but it's not a satire because that's the only bit in the entire film that is like that one bit. I just don't get it. I just think it's the tonal shift is insane. I think the musical numbers stop dead in its tracks, and the musical numbers don't flow. Like you think of Wicked this year as an example, where the songs just flow on and flow into each other, and you don't even notice sometimes that a song's ended and a song's begun. But with this, they outright like stop and start. I think 50% of the musical numbers sound exactly the same. Yeah. Especially in the first half. Yeah, I think it's really rubbish. I don't think it does anything super offensive to me personally. Apparently it is offensive. Apparently none of it was shot in Mexico at all. It was entirely shot in France. And it's produced by a French team. And it does just classify all of Mexico as a hellscape almost, which is quite offensive, I'd imagine. And apparently their Spanish in this is abysmal. I can't vouch for that, but from every review I've seen and every comment I've seen from a Spanish speaking person on social media is how bad the three actresses are, that it's just really bad, offensive Spanish, Mexican speaking. God, what else, mate? I've got pages of notes here, but I'm not going to run through them all.
Yeah. I want to just hit the audience, hit the listeners with this. I wrote this on my Letterboxd review, and I was quite proud of it because I think it really is quite damning. I said, Emilia Pérez boasts the same smug, ill-judged, preachy attitude of a virtue signalling advert from some international clothing brand or car manufacturer, and it has the cinematography to boot. I just think this film feels both incredibly cheap, but also you've got like drone shots flying over hillsides going to mansions, and you're like, God, it's like watching someone pick up £100 note just burning it for fun. I'm like, good God, what is this?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it's not Megalopolis bad, like where it's incredibly bad, you have to watch it to understand it, and it's also not so bad it's funny like Madam Web. It's in this third camp that's just weirdly bad, not absolutely unwatchable. Well,
yeah, I think it is.
No,
though,
I think actually, yeah.
You're spot on there. I'm so glad you've brought this up, right? I watched this guy on YouTube, and his channel is Ryan Hollinger. He does video essays and videos on films and mostly horror films, that kind of thing. And I was watching a video of his the other day, and he quoted Sam Raimi, saying that this is something that Sam Raimi said, that at least a bad film can be fun, yet a boring film will forever just be boring.
Mm.
And I think that sums this up entirely. Like you said, Megalopolis, as much as it's bad, it has a charm to it that's at least makes you watch it.
Yeah.
And then same with Madam Web. Car crash of a film, but you can watch it and at least it's fun. At least there's elements to it that you can either take the piss out of or enjoy taking the piss out of. But this film just is none of that. It's just a boring, bad film.
Mm.
And I'm so baffled by the nominations.
Yeah, it's inexplicable, isn't it? I mean, you're right. It is boring because, and it really, I don't know, and it's actually an achievement to be this boring because I really found it a struggle to get through. I think Nickel Boys, which I reviewed earlier, is long, and I did struggle to get through that, but it wasn't boring. Like I found it interesting, and I leant into it. I was like, and I began trying to work out why it wasn't working for me.
Yeah. It's at least provoking an emotion,
Yeah, totally. Whereas Emilia Pérez, it's like someone is taking the piss, because it's like the musical numbers are, at times they're kinetic and they look interesting, but it's like, but for what gain? Because it serves no relevance. I think it's offensive to Mexico, as you've mentioned, but also I think, I wonder what the trans community think about it, because I think this is odd in that regard as well, and it's heavy subjects to start bringing in when you're just reviewing a film, but I really don't know if it paints that community in a good light either. But I mean the lead actress is trans, so I'm like, well, surely she signed off on it, but it feels weird that this plot was conceived in a way. It's like a film that's trying everything it can to not be boring, and in doing so it's like, yeah man, this is really boring.
Theoretically though, it shouldn't be boring.
It's a weird, it's a wildly out there plot that's like, oh, I know, we'll get race, we'll get cartel, we'll get an action shootout at the end, we'll get a car chase, we'll
chop someone's fingers off.
We'll get, I know, they'll have to go undercover and they'll decide, right, I know I'll be a transgender to get out of this life, and I what and in a way that is interesting. So how they've managed to then get a film that's both irritating, boring, and then people love it, or someone's loving it because someone keeps voting for it.
Yeah, well, this was on Mark Commode's top 5,
but I don't remember his review being that.
I watched it before this, and he loves it.
Does he? I listened to his review.
The comments are like, "What are you talking about, Mark? I was waiting for Simon Mayo to say psych and shit like that." In his review, he's like, well up for it. He's like, yeah, he likes it. I literally watched it before we started recording because I was like, I wonder what Commode thinks of this. Yeah, like, I will say the only bit that I had vague interest was, ironically, the stupid scene with the vaginoplasty song, because it feels like a satire, and it's so interesting to me that scene has gone viral, because that is the scene that does not encapsulate what this movie's like. Because if the whole movie was like that scene, I think it would be watchable in the same way Madam Web is.
Yeah.
But it simply isn't. The rest of the film's just boring. And the other bit I lent into a little bit and was a bit intrigued was when it does the flash forward 4 years and she's at dinner and discovers that is Emilia Pérez sat next to her at dinner. That was the only bit where I was like, at least it made me sort of, I didn't take my eyes off the screen, basically. That was the only scene where I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then, it just went flat again after that. But
mate, I don't even know how to describe it. It feels like
random Robbie Williams song.
Yeah. It's so weird. I don't understand how is this how has this got this many nominations? Maybe the odd handful of critics have loved it, but I don't believe them. I don't believe that they loved it. I think at most you can appreciate, if I'm being really objective, you can appreciate it for being quite so out there and quite so bold, and its approaches, but I don't think it's.
I don't think it handles them well, though.
No, it's not satisfying to watch. The music is objectively bad. Bar maybe one song. Selena Gomez is rubbish in this. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the whole ending actually just pissed me off because it's so inconsequential, and it's like, oh, that's that then. I actually couldn't believe it because I didn't look up the plot details. I knew the premise, and that's really all you need to know going in. But the ending was dark. You couldn't see what was going on. You couldn't really tell who was where, and you're like, oh, that's okay. They're there now, and then it ends in a way that's, I guess, meant to be wholesome. But it's like, no, I just don't care. I do not give a crap.
Absolutely. I think from all the outlets I've seen from any sort of LGBT news site, they've seen this as offensive. They haven't seen it as good for the trans community, which is fair enough. Not something we can speak on, but I've seen them saying, no, this is backwards for us. This is not good. And yeah, I can get where they come from, because the motto of this then is that, okay, so he has now become who they're meant to be. He's become a female properly, and now this is a new person, and all the evil cartel business they did their whole life is now been redacted.
Yeah,
because they're now known as Emilia Pérez rather than actual cartel mob boss with gold teeth. Like, it seems comical almost.
I completely forgot that whole. You're right. The whole second act of this film, listeners, is that Emilia Pérez then becomes some sort of. God, I completely forgot that part of the film. Yeah,
that's the offensive bit, I think, for the trans community.
Yeah, that was. I thought that was just. I think from a script perspective, if nothing else, was just crap. I was like, how the fuck has someone gone from being a cartel mobster to then being some sort of Nobel Prize contender for saving the world? I'm like, sorry, pull the other one. I just thought it was offensive. Actually, no, it's not offensive. I'm not trans. I'm not Mexican. But my God, I was offended by
it's offensive
by just the dumbness of how quickly it changes. That's stupid. It's not compelling. It's like, okay,
yeah,
what?
It's next level. I really am baffled, I keep saying it, by the amount of nominations it got. It's also got nominations that make point blank no sense. Like, I can see if someone likes this film and they're maybe the Academy are doing it for the like the woke points almost, which I don't agree on, but potentially they are. But then it's also got nominations for like best editing. Which is point blank wrong, because yeah, that whole final scene is just pitch black, and shoddily edited. And I think it's, like you said, it's got best score. What score? And it's got nominated for best this and that. Like, there's just nominations where it like completely goes against anything in what the proof of the pudding. Essentially, it's just bad. Like, yeah.
I really don't think if you were to show this to someone that had lived in a cave for the last 6 months, and you're like, right, oh, you ready to watch a film? Yeah. Oh, I've got a film for you, Emilia Pérez. Give this a watch. Let me know what you think. I would be absolutely astonished if they turn around and be like, God, so this must have won an Oscar then, right?
Best Picture, yeah.
This must have won Best Picture and 12 others. This must have been really up there.
13 Oscars, yeah. Mental. Absolutely mental.
It's insane. And you know what offends me more is that Challengers didn't get anything.
Yeah.
Not even for score.
Yeah. There was films, right? Let me find the tweet to finish this, because we're rambling. But there was a basically it was a tweet listing, literally, it was like 101 other films released this year that are better than Emilia Pérez. And it's true, every single one of them it said is just like even ones you've mentioned, like The Outrun, Challenges is the big one. Ones like Long Legs, even fucking like Jura 2, which you weren't a fan of, sounded more engaging than this. The list was endless. I can't find it. It's my bad. I thought I'd saved it, but I obviously didn't. But just the amount of films that deserve a nod and a nomination over this, particularly 13 nominations. Yeah, it's just baffling, mate. And I gave it half a star on Letterboxd. If I could give it lower, I think I would, mate.
If you're traveling to the North Country Fair, and the winds hit heavy on the morning light,
Rolling Stone, a complete unknown. Did you know that, Bob Dylan fact for you, that David Bowie wrote a song called A Song for Bob Dylan,
yeah,
and he hates it.
Who does? Bob Dylan?
Yep.
Oh.
Maybe that's why I have a vendetta against
Yeah,
Bob
that's
Dylan.
that's why, Alfie.
That is why.
He's ungrateful.
Ungrateful little shit. Thank you for listening today to Moving Up, episode 53. Bumper episode here, and then you can listen to our Oscars one, which was a bonus episode released just before this one. Next week, we're going to be reviewing The Brutalist, I believe. We're both catching that. Excited, but nervous. Because a lot is riding on it to be really fucking good.
I don't know if I'll catch anything else. I'm trying to think. I've booked in to see... Oh, I don't know if I'll mention it on the podcast, maybe, but I've booked in to see the 25th anniversary screening of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Fun. Very fun.
Yeah. Excited to see that. I honestly can't remember the last time I watched like a proper karate film, so I'm excited for that.
That'll be fun. You'll be able to spot the Star Wars influence in that as well, because that's what George Lucas obviously based all that off, which will be fun. So yeah,
if it's only 25,
it's just the
if it's only 25 years old, or do you mean he based the prequels on it? Sorry, I've thrown you a curveball in the last minute of the podcast.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of a completely different film. My God, yeah, I've had the completely different film in my head to what I thought you was going to see. That's really funny. What am I thinking of? Yeah, that is not the film that I...
Yeah, mate, you're thinking of Emilia Pérez.
Yes. Let me look quickly. That's really thrown me off. I'm going to do some research and come to you next week with the film that I'm thinking of, because I'll try to find it.
Okay.
If you want to voice your opinions of Emilia Pérez, or if you've got an opinion saying how you liked Emilia Pérez, which would be really good, please get in touch, because I'd love to hear it, because I think it's trash. You can email in also with your Oscars opinions as well. We'd love to hear that. hello@movionup.com.
You can also get in touch with us on Instagram and TikTok. You can go to our handles @MovingUp.
Your impressions are the only TikToks that get good responses, Adam. So you absolutely need to do a TikTok where you're pretending to be Bob Dylan. And you also need to TikTok where you're pretending to be... what's her name? Rita from Emilia Pérez.
Which one's Rita?
The main one, isn't it? Isn't that her name?
Yeah.
Zoe Saldana.
I meant to say as well, Zoe Saldana's character is obviously so reluctant to be in the scenario she's in, and I like to think that that's just Zoe Saldana walking onto set. Like, she really didn't want to be there.
She's just off the Guardian set, and she was like, right.
Yeah. She got the call from her agent. What's that? You don't want me to agree? You don't want me to be green or blue? Yeah, I'll do it.
She does look like she's in hostage in real life in this film, actually. Yeah, you're quite right.
She's always got tears welling up.
Thank you for listening to this episode today, and we'll catch you next week.